here on the Senate side, there was a bill, as Brent mentioned, the governor had I think there's still a live round in the House. The Senate went through Human Services Committee, where essentially trying to, through raising that tax, as well as I think a few others as well. I don't Senate Human Services, but if I recall there, because I was keeping an eye on that one a little bit, if it was gonna come over to Ways and Means, and it never did. But the crux of that was raising the tobacco tax to then basically plug a hole, if you will, inside the Medicaid portion, right? And that bill failed bipartisan inside the Senate Human Services Committee. So I think, I can't tell you if it was the number reason why it failed or just the topic in general, but I know that it was a bipartisan failure in a bill and actually died in committee, which we don't see too often up there. So, talking about the tobacco tax. You know, this is always a hard policy thing because, I know, because some people, they want to raise it to basically end a behavior, right? And that's a policy position out there. But then there's other people out there who want to raise it to support, you know, medical infrastructure, right, as well too. The data shows that if you raise it to a certain extent, you are going to change behavior and you're going to cut back usage. So even when both parties, you know, agree to raising it, it's like, well, what's the policy outcome in the end, right? If you're going to try to plug a Medicaid hole in a budget and you're plugging it through a mechanism that's going to diminish usage, then that's not really a long-term solution on the budget-wise as well too. And that's where a lot of kind of discussion of failures occur a lot of the time there. So because that bill failed inside Human Services, it's essentially not a conversation inside the Senate this year. What is still a conversation is we have another bill out there, and that is on vapes as well as some of these other pouches out there as well too. And I think that's something that we need to hopefully make some movement on here at the end of the year. Right now, there's a tax on tobacco, but very similar products. And I know there's discussion out there if these are harm reduction products or not, or if it's basically an alternative. Whatever people's viewpoint is on those, the reality is you go out and buy a pack of cigarettes, you're paying a tobacco tax. You're going out and buying a vape, you're paying just the regular sales tax, right? My viewpoint is there has to be parity in that spectrum. You can't have such a back to house you own for your family and back to house you own for a rental. You can't have such a massive disparity on a pack of cigarettes. People just go out and find a cheaper alternative on a tax-wise there that, frankly, probably has the same health aspects at the end. So what I would like to see us hopefully make movement on, if not accomplished by the end of session, is what does exist out there, and that is trying to bring some parity with these vapes and pouches back up to the tobacco side, which would bring additional monies into Medicaid. But until we can have a larger consensus, not even with both parties within a chamber as to how we're going to deal with that, it doesn't mean we should ignore these other things out there.